Recent actions signal a notable intensification in the technological competition between the United States and China. The Trump administration has deployed expanded export controls aimed squarely at China's artificial intelligence and advanced computing sectors. This represents the administration's initial significant measure designed to impede China's progress in these critical fields. American companies are now effectively barred from supplying these organizations without first securing government permits. Predictably, this move prompted a diplomatic response from the Chinese Foreign Ministry, urging Washington to cease what it termed the abuse of sanctions lists to unreasonably pressure Chinese firms. This exchange underscores the persistent tension surrounding technological primacy between the world's two largest economies. Notably affected by these latest additions are 6 subsidiaries of the Inspur Group, a prominent force in China's cloud computing and big data services market. It is relevant that Inspur itself had faced similar restrictions under the preceding Biden administration back in 2023, suggesting a degree of continuity in targeting specific actors within China's tech ecosystem. The implications for established commercial ties, particularly involving major U.S. technology suppliers and entities like Inspur, are substantial and warrant closer examination. Operational consequences followed swiftly for American technology suppliers with documented relationships to the newly listed entities. Major U.S. chip manufacturers, including Intel, NVIDIA, and AMD, count Inspur among their significant clients. Furthermore, established joint ventures exist within China involving Inspur, IBM, and Cisco, designed to cater to the local market. The practical effect of the blacklisting imposes immediate operational constraints, limiting the capacity of these U.S. technology giants to conduct commerce with Inspur and others on the list. This carries the direct potential for substantial reductions in revenue previously derived from the Chinese market. A market recognized for its scale. For firms like NVIDIA and AMD, this development exacerbates existing commercial challenges. They were already navigating decreased Chinese demand for their artificial intelligence chips, a situation stemming from earlier export controls put in place during the Biden administration. Such restrictive measures have consistently drawn opposition from within the U.S. technology sector itself. The arguments presented focus not only on the immediate financial impact of reduced access to one of the world's largest markets, but also extend to concerns about potential negative repercussions for domestic AI innovation within the United States. Google, in a policy proposal dated March 15, articulated a call for what it termed balanced export controls. Controls designed specifically to avert adverse effects on U.S. exports and the global operations of American businesses. The proposal specifically critiqued existing AI export regulations, including the Export Control Framework for Artificial Intelligence Diffusion, implemented in January under the previous administration. Google's assessment suggested these rules risk undermining stated economic competitiveness goals by placing disproportionate burdens on U.S. cloud service providers, potentially rendering the measures counterproductive. This critique of the AI diffusion rule, which restricts U.S. AI model and chip sales beyond a designated group of trusted economies, echoes broader apprehension voiced by industry figures. Leaders who have characterized such comprehensive restrictions as difficult to implement effectively and potentially undermining the stated American objectives of protecting national security while simultaneously maintaining leadership in artificial intelligence. Indeed, warnings about wider consequences have been issued. NVIDIA's Vice President of Government Affairs, N. Finkel, cautioned earlier this year in January that limiting Chinese entities' access to U.S. technology could potentially jeopardize the trajectory of global AI advancement, risking a derailment of innovation and economic growth on a worldwide scale. While industry voices articulate concerns regarding potential negative outcomes and global repercussions, empirical data offers another lens through which to view the situation. Researchers at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York undertook an examination specifically focused on quantifying the costs associated with these types of export restrictions on the firms directly impacted. Their study, published just last month, provides concrete findings regarding the operational effects. The research confirms that domestic U.S. firms subject to the export controls did, in fact, cease their sales activities with the targeted Chinese customers. This demonstrates the controls achieved their immediate objective of disrupting established commercial channels. However, the study also revealed a significant subsequent challenge faced by these same American companies. These firms encountered considerable difficulty in establishing new commercial relationships to replace the lost business. Efforts to pivot towards alternative customers, whether located within the United States itself or in regions considered politically aligned, proved largely unsuccessful according to the research data. This finding presents a stark contrast. The policy effectively halted targeted exports, yet simultaneously resulted in documented economic consequences for the implementing nation's businesses, characterized by lost sales that were not readily offset by new market opportunities elsewhere. Observing these developments collectively reveals a discernible friction. On one hand, the stated objectives of U.S. policy involve maintaining technological leadership and safeguarding national security interests. On the other hand, the documented operational outcomes include quantifiable economic burdens on domestic firms, evidenced by the Federal Reserve Study's findings on lost sales and the struggle to secure alternative markets. Added to this are the consistent warnings from major technology players regarding potential impediments to U.S. innovation and global competitiveness, as articulated by companies like Google and NVIDIA. These actions, including the recent expansions under the Trump administration and the preceding measures under the Biden administration targeting similar sectors and entities like Inspur, fit within a broader pattern. They indicate a persistent strategic approach focused on managing China's technological ascent through direct economic and technological means, a manifestation of the ongoing rivalry between the two nations. However, the evidence presented raises questions regarding the alignment between the tools employed and the desired strategic ends. The potential for unintended consequences merits consideration, particularly the risk of undermining the very economic competitiveness and innovative capacity the policies ostensibly seek to protect. A risk highlighted directly by industry stakeholders. Furthermore, the documented economic costs borne by the affected U.S. companies, coupled with the reported difficulty in finding replacement business, suggests a tangible downside to the current implementation of these controls based on the available data. This persistence of policy across different administrations, despite these expressed concerns and observed economic impacts, underscores the strategic weight assigned to controlling technology flows in the current geopolitical landscape. Looking beyond the immediate commercial effects, the situation points toward wider strategic considerations. The continued application and expansion of these export controls serve as tangible evidence of an escalating technological rivalry. Actions taken are framed within a context of competition for global leadership in critical domains like artificial intelligence and advanced computing. The warnings issued by figures within the U.S. technology sector itself, concerning potential jeopardy to global AI progress and the risk of derailing worldwide innovation and economic growth, suggest the implications extend far beyond bilateral relations. They point towards potential disruptions in the complex, interconnected ecosystem that underpins modern technological development, an ecosystem from which U.S. firms have historically benefited. This creates a complex dynamic. Measures intended to secure a national advantage might, according to these industry assessments, carry the risk of negatively impacting the broader technological landscape upon which future progress depends. The difficulty reported by U.S. firms in finding alternative markets, as documented by the Federal Reserve research, further complicates the picture, suggesting that replacing the restricted commercial interactions is not a straightforward proposition. Therefore, the policy trajectory, marked by continuity across different administrations in employing these restrictive tools despite expressed concerns about counterproductivity and observed economic drawbacks for domestic entities, signals a deep-seated strategic objective. It reflects a calculation where the perceived imperative to manage China's technological advancement appears, for now, to outweigh the documented costs and potential risks highlighted by economic data and industry analysis. Therefore, the observable pattern is one of sustained policy implementation, continuing across different governmental phases, aimed directly at limiting specific technological capabilities within China. This occurs concurrently with empirical data indicating measurable economic detriment to American businesses directly affected by these controls, coupled with explicit warnings from significant players within the U.S. technology sector regarding potential adverse effects on domestic innovation and the broader global technology landscape. The operational dynamic currently in place thus reveals a strategic calculus prioritizing geopolitical containment in the technology sphere, even when faced with documented domestic economic costs and the potential for wider, perhaps unintended, consequences for global technological development and economic growth. The inherent tensions between these competing factors remain unresolved. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this analysis, and be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more geopolitical insights like this. I love hearing your thoughts, so drop a comment below and let's keep the conversation going. Share this video with anyone interested in deeper perspectives on current events. Until next time, stay informed and think critically. Thank you.